Welcome everyone to our webinar, 5 Ways to Boost Cash Flow and Collections in Your Orthodontic Practice. I'm Gretchen Hale, Account Executive at TOPS, joined by Jayce Deain from Gaidge. Today, we'll share actionable strategies that can help you strengthen your financial performance while enhancing the patient experience based on real data, real workflows, and real success stories from practices just like yours. Let's start with just a little bit of background. Yes, this is where it all started, right here at Sandy Smiles Orthodontics in beautiful Fort Walton Beach, Florida. I started there in 1998 and held diverse roles, including clinical assisting, treatment coordinating, office management, IT. I wore all of those hats in an orthodontic practice. And look at us here at our Relay for Life Zumba event. We raised over $9,000 that night. It was so much fun with all of our friends at the gym. They all came and bought all kinds of stuff. It was so nice. We walked all night and even had one of us on the track at 4 a.m. We just loved serving our community as a team, and we had the best team. And that picture was taken like in 2011, a few years after you started at the practice, Jayce. And
Yep.
we even worked at TOPS for a few years together. And now look at us. I'm at TOPS and you're at Gaidge.
Yes. Full circle.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's true. We've come a really long way, and it's cool that those experiences really shape the way both of us approach practice management today. So from my side at Gaidge, I get to work with practices across the country. And what I see over and over again is this. The practices that thrive financially are the ones that keep a really close eye on their numbers. So before we get into systems and workflows, let's start with the foundation, which is the key financial metrics that give you the clearest picture of your practice's health. If you don't have visibility into your numbers, you can't manage them effectively, right? So these metrics become your roadmap to understand what's working in the practice and what needs attention. These are the metrics we recommend every practice keeping a very close eye on, which are average contract amount, net production versus net collection, the percentage of starts paid in full, and accounts receivable. Each one of these will tell you something different, but together they will give you a really clear financial picture of the practice. Your average contract amount is simply total contract dollars divided by the total number of contracts started. The national benchmark we recommend is above 5,450. So the key takeaway here is keep your fees in line with industry trends and adjust them routinely. Getting even more detailed, evaluating fees by treatment types helps you really understand what's pulling the average, whether it's up or down. And while there's no set goal for down payments, tracking trends will help ensure a healthy cash flow. So on this chart, we can see that nationally, contracts continue to rise above 5,450 as practices adjust. But if you notice on the second line in that chart, the initial payments have stayed pretty flat. So what we're seeing is that practices are keeping it easy for patients to get started, but still raising their overall contract values. We want to make it easier for patients to say yes, and we'll talk about ways to get to that yes here shortly. Net production versus net collection. This metric gives you a snapshot of financial health. The formula is rolling 3-month average of production divided by a rolling 3-month average of collections. So the goal is for net production to be 5 to 20% greater than net collection. Within this range, it would indicate a growing practice. If we're seeing net collection consistently higher than net production, it could indicate no growth, or actually it could indicate a practice in decline. You could also see that net collection is higher than net production when there is a really high number of paid in full contracts. We're also going to touch on that here in the next couple of slides. This trending chart here is showing that right after COVID, we saw these percentages spike, but then you'll see them drop in 2022. But the good news is that they've been climbing pretty steadily ever since, showing stronger, healthier growth among practices. And we also can see that practices are doing a better job of making sure production actually turns into cash. So to touch on the paid in full contracts, these contracts can feel like a cash flow win, but too many of them can actually create a problem later down the road. If you find that more than 18% of starts are paid in full, future cash flow could suffer. So while I know getting a paid in full contract is very tempting and we like to encourage them, balance in this area is the key. So we want steady, predictable revenue coming in, not just spikes with things like paid in full contracts. So you'll see that quick boost up front, but then you'll risk a dip later if new starts aren't paying in full. So it's all about just keeping the balance. The other thing that practices must stay on top of are the accounts receivable. It's giving you visibility on outstanding balances. It's helping you tighten up billing. And when this is monitored consistently, your AR will not spiral out of control and you'll actually collect what you've earned. Everybody wants that, right? So with Gaidge's AR, you can see overdue balances at a glance, both patient and insurance. And being able to see this allows you to take action very quickly. And we all know the earlier we catch any issues, the easier they are to resolve. Here's where Gaidge comes in. Once you start tracking metrics, Gaidge will take away all of that heavy lifting. So instead of having to pull reports, take time trying to make sense of them, Gaidge will automatically total up production, collections, contracts, and AR, along with a ton of other information, but all of that becomes very clear in one dashboard. So you're able to immediately see trends or spot trends in net production, net collections, average contract amount. You'll also know if you're relying too heavily on those paid in full starts. But the real value, I think, overall is clarity and visibility. You no longer have to worry or wonder where the practice stands financially. Everything is in one place and it's updated daily. Gaidge really just makes your data actionable. It allows you to make smarter decisions about fees, payment structures, and really identifying any areas of growth. The second step is all about optimizing your new patient workflow. This is really where collections begin. The way that you set up that very first exam has a huge impact whether patients start and how smoothly things will flow after that. So cash flow will start at that first exam, so it's really important to be fully prepared. If the insurance isn't verified or if paperwork isn't done, patients might not convert. And that's why the prep is so critical. Before the exam, you always want to make sure that the forms are completed, the appointment is verified, and most importantly, if they have insurance, that insurance is verified. If we don't have that information ready, like insurance, we can't give an accurate quote, and that makes it much less likely that patient is actually going to move forward and start treatment. We all know today, everyone, but our patients are really focused on convenience. We want them to feel in control with different tools like payment sliders, remote contract acceptance, and also the ability to text to pay. So when you are able to meet patients where they are, your starts are going to happen faster and you'll start to notice your collections increase. Flexibility in this area will help drive conversion and on-time payments. So this flexibility includes things like aligning drafts with patients' paydays, using your auto draft when possible, and offering extended terms when it's appropriate. Flexibility isn't just about discounting and giving patients a lot of different discounts. It's about structure and structuring those payments in a way that works for the patient while keeping your cash flow really stable. Flexibility also is going to build trust with your patients. So overall, I think the common theme here is that this is all just about balance. Paid in full discounts can help, but the real key is structuring the down payments strategically and focusing on the value of that end result, not just time and treatment. That's how you'll increase that case acceptance while keeping the revenue really steady. And we recommend separating fee from treatment time and focusing instead on results. Offer those paid in full discounts, which everyone loves, but keep them balanced and balance them out with structured down payments. The overall key is to keep cash flow healthy while still offering patients the choice of affordability and flexibility. One of the challenges that we hear, Gretchen probably as well, hear from practices almost every day is that new patient process can feel scattered. We hear forms are in one place, insurance verification tracking is somewhere else, and financial arrangements are typically on spreadsheets. And that lack of visibility will cause delay, extra manual work, and sometimes it will cause things to fall through the cracks. And when that happens, it's going to directly impact that case acceptance. Because when patients don't feel confident moving forward, if that process is feeling disjointed to them. We have a product at Gaidge called the Gaidge Consult Manager that can actually solve that problem. And it does that by centralizing all of those tasks into one place. So treatment coordinators can see exactly where that patient is in the process. Financial coordinators can log in and understand where the patients are in that process, as well as all financial arrangements are going to now be tracked within one area. This is going to help ensure that nothing falls through the cracks. It also helps every team member know their role, and it allows every single patient to have a really consistent experience. So with that, I will hand this back over to Gretchen, who's going to show you how this connects directly with TOPS to help streamline payments and automate the rest of the financial workflow.
Yes, and I will tell you that our practices love online forms powered by Gaidge to really get all of that information in before the exam. Plus, the no-show rate is lower because they already have all of their information in. And when that form comes in the form manager, it's live, exactly when that form's coming in. And then that triggers our financial coordinator to start verifying insurance. So we're not running around, and we have everything ready for mom when they walk in the door. So practices love that. Thanks, Jayce. So for our next step 3 is automating the payment process. So automation is your ally. Integrated systems can really streamline payments and reduce that manual work. And Dr. Michael King's team saved hours monthly by switching from manual card runs to TOPS Pay. So it's super important to select an integrated payment system, and your system should be able to handle and track recurring payments, to track those declines, update the card info easily, and TOPS Pay does all of that and more. As Dr. King shared, it's a total game changer, and you can see by his quote here, I love having TOPS Pay integrated. It's been a huge change for us for auto pay plans. Previously, we would manually run those cards on either the 1st or the 15th, and it would take hours. So with TOPS Pay, it's going to auto post, auto reconcile, and auto deposit to the practice bank account, and of course, reduce those team errors, any errors made by your team manually. So practices love that as well. And our integrated payment processing offers automated accuracy, flexible dates, so you're not locked in to any certain dates, and making things easier to get started with mom, especially with those flexible payment dates. ACH, all credit and debit cards are the same flat rate, and TOPS Pay Premier offers complete management all within one platform. So TOPS Pay, again, is going to auto post, auto reconcile, and auto deposit to the practice bank account within 2 business days. It's secure. It makes it easy to take patient payments and get them started with the auto pay plans. And it's designed, again, to reduce those errors and improve cash flow. Our practices love that the virtual terminal is built right inside of TOPS. So there's no more hardware to rent or buy. Payment methods are saved to the patient chart with the card on file for your patient. So there's no more, quote, chasing the money. And it's also great for workflow. No more running around the office to scan a card. If you have that virtual team member that needs access from home, they can do that as well. Another step that's important is that step 4, establishing a delinquent follow-up plan. Let's talk a little bit about managing delinquencies. A structured follow-up plan helps recover missed payments and maintains your cash flow. So defining clear thresholds and triggers to set clear actions for missed payments. And, starting off with a courtesy text reminder and escalating that to more personal outreach. And then Pay Premier, our account managers can also handle this for you, reducing that staff burden. And here's just a quick example timeline and actions. And then, of course, with Pay Premier, we'll do all of this for you, taking those uncomfortable interactions off of your plate. So communication scripts, this is great. So just write friendly, non-confrontational scripts for each touch point. Avoid generic like past due messages. Instead, offer help and solutions that really are going to keep treatment on track. Standardize your scripts, keep them tone friendly, supportive, like in this example. Hey, Jayce, we noticed your payment didn't go through. We can help you update your card or adjust your payment date so your treatment stays on track. Document all your contact attempts in TOPS. And even now, just run your current scripts and letters through AI and change them up a bit so they're friendly and non-confrontational. We know we have all those old letters hanging around, so just run them through AI and kind of freshen them up a bit. So we're also going to want to use multiple communication channels. Use email, text, phone, in-office reminders, document every contact and update payment info during the calls, and align your draft dates with payment cycles to prevent repeat issues. Offer your flexible payment dates. Again, all within the auto pay plan set up in TOPS. Be flexible. That really helps our busy moms and dads and our patients start. So it really gets rid of that barrier. Let's just move on to monitoring and reporting. So review your AR weekly. You can flag the chronic late payers, track that recovery rate, and TOPS provides clear audit trails and reporting tools to help you stay proactive in that regard too. So just make that clear and get all of that right there in TOPS. You can also save time with outsourced account management, and that's our TOPS Pay Premier product. So TOPS Pay Premier offers full service follow-ups for up to 90 days. We're going to monitor payment methods. We're going to flag your issues early, and we're going to work directly with your patients to resolve them, all without staff involvement. So here's our timeline and actions that our Premier account managers use, and we'll do all of this for you. And we'll take those uncomfortable actions right off your plate, all of those interactions off your plate. And remember, remember when I worked in a practice, we just kind of like scooted all those little duties aside because it was uncomfortable and we're bound to see that patient at Publix or the ball field the next day kind of thing. So our account managers will take that work off your plate in those uncomfortable situations and interactions off your plate, and they're going to work the account every 14 days with the goal to recover the payment. And we're going to make all the notes in TOPS so everybody on your team is on the same page. And we'll also email a full monthly wrap up of payment related activity to the practice team lead so everybody's on the same page. Again, keeping AR low with TOPS Pay Premier. Our decline recovery system ensures every failed payment attempt will get attention with real-time tracking, personalized outreach, and your team stays informed while we handle all of the follow-up. Our team of account managers will create ledger notes for all the patient touches, and we're going to send the emails from your office email address, always directing the patient back to the practice for the patient to make a payment if our team does not recover it on the call. Again, all your notes are going to be logged in the patient chart and TOPS. Industry averages and best practices. Most practices recover about 60 to 75% of failed payments manually, But with Tops Pay Premier, recovery rates jump to 85 plus. So that is amazing. It's a significant improvement in cash flow and efficiency. And Tops Pay Premier outperforms traditional methods in recovering declined or missed payments. And it's just going to help practices, reduce that AR and improve your cash flow. And you'll see that here in that graph, how the manual is just kind of a thing of the past, where our managers can really help you in that regard and save your busy moms and dads and your team time. So this is actually a TOPS practice case study, and it's a real world example of a practice that uses TOPS Pay Premier. And this is just for 2 months. So the results speak for themselves. The lower AR, the better recovery, the more time for patient care. This practice reduced delinquency, improved recovery, and freed up staff time, all within 60 days. It's a TOPS practice out of Wichita, Kansas. Saw a 25% drop in AR within 2 months of incorporating TOPS Pay Premier. And that was 333 touches, saving 24 plus hours of staff time, and then recovering over $12,000 in revenue. And our TOPS Pay Premier account managers here, you see our friendly account managers here. We've got Kaylin, Gina, and Valerie, all who have worked in a practice. So they know all the ins and outs and the importance of taking very good care of your patient family. So that kind of wraps it up for us, Jayce.
Yeah, that was great. Thank you for sharing all that information, especially all built right into TOPS. It makes it very efficient and helpful. So
yeah, and the Gaidge Consult Manager, our practices love using that. And again, you can access that right there inside of TOPS through the report menu. So thanks so much for joining us today for 5 ways to boost cash flow and collections in your orthodontic practice. We really hope that y'all are walking away with practical strategies that you can implement right away, whether it be tightening up your workflows, leveraging that data to drive smarter decisions, or creating a more seamless financial experience for your patients. These aren't just theories, they're proven approaches used by successful practices across the country. Remember, improving cash flow and collections isn't just about numbers, it's about creating your healthier, more sustainable practice that supports your team and your patients. And if y'all have any questions or want to dive deeper into any of these strategies we discussed, don't hesitate to reach out. You can email sales@gaidge.com or sales@topsortho.com. So thanks again, everyone.
thank you.
Bye-bye.